Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your spirit guide message reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow and makes me unbelievably happy, so thank you so much for doing so. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aquarius. Spirit guide message for Aquarius, Aquarius. Spirit guide message for Aquarius, Aquarius. Spirit guide message for Aquarius, Aquarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. Now at the bottom is our rooted self, the energy that is rooting us during this time. Left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So we have the Three of Pentacles and the Lovers. The Lovers also represents Gemini energy, time frame May 21st to July 22nd. But there's a sense of collaboration, very strong at our roots, like needing to be able to bounce our ideas off of people, but also off of spirit. So kind of like writing things out for ourselves is going to be really, really good, or having these conversations with spirit out loud or even in our heads. We have the High Priestess with the Page of Wands. Wands is a fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And so here we're turning inward and really being a student of our passion, of what we desire, of the way that we want to move forward, of what inspires us, of what doesn't inspire us. We have the Nine of Pentacles, which is saying to celebrate where we are right now and the successes that we have achieved now. And we have the Page of Swords. So we're coming through. We're represented, Aquarius, with the swords in the minor arcana, with the star card in the major arcana. We're coming through as students of our hearts, of our desire, but of our hearts and our minds really coming together. And then in the public arena, we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. Now, the Eight of Pentacles is hard work. It's our 10,000 hours to become, an expert at something. And then we have the Five of Cups, which is looking at things wrong. We're not seeing the hard work and the dedication and the time and the effort we put into things. We're seeing what other people have achieved that we would really like to achieve. We're being unnecessarily harsh on ourselves, and we're being unreasonably harsh on ourselves. So that's going to be something where we need to turn around and start to see the unity, the love, the connection, the brilliance, and the greater understanding of the heart, the soul, the self. We really are a student during this time, so that's actually a really good thing. When you stop being a student, it's like you stop learning, you stop living, right? So here's a time where we're taking everything in around passion and ideas and insights, and we're going to have some wild and crazy ideas, and we're going to have some ideas that we sit there and we're like, wow, why didn't I ever think of it like that before? So to open those avenues to ourselves is going to be very important. Let's look at our chakra energy. Spirit guide message for Aquarius. Spirit guide message for Aquarius. Spirit guide message for Aquarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. We have truth. This is the throat chakra. And this is a time where we have to let ourselves speak our truth. Whether it be just to ourselves in a closed room, being able to say things that we want to say, express ourselves the way we want to express ourselves. This is also a sense of opening up our eyes, opening up ourselves to the power of our throat chakra, to the power of what we desire and where it is that we want to be, being open and honest about our emotions, about what our heart longs for, about what our mind longs for, about the expectations of others, just being really, really honest with ourselves in a way that can feel overwhelming, in a way that might feel like, oh, I'm not doing this the right way, or might bring up some issues that we didn't know we shoved way back into our psyches. So this is a time to just speak that truth, let the truth be our guide forward, and to be as honest and aware of who we are and where we're headed as humanly possible. It moves us to our energy to be mindful of. Spirit guide message for Aquarius. Aquarius. What energy should Aquarius be mindful of? What energy should Aquarius be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. It's the Princess of Pentacles. Now, this is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but this is also the energy of always thinking there's something better. Like, if I just push harder, if I just work more, if I just, because we're being the students of it. It's kind of like, or, yeah, it's being very new to something. It's either thinking, if I push harder, I'll be able to get to where I want to be, or it's thinking, that it should just happen instantaneously. And there are going to be people like this around us where they're going to be saying, oh, well, this will just happen. And it's not going to just happen. We have to really work towards it. And then there's also going to be the energy of, well, if you just work harder, if you just, exhaust yourself more and more and more, burn the candle at both ends, then it will happen. And it's not going to happen that way either. We have to be kind to ourselves. We have to listen to the prosperity that we want. And we might even have to change our idea of prosperity. Is prosperity the big giant house and the fancy cars and everything like that? Or is it being able to be secure and happy and, just contented within a maybe a quieter life, but also a life that brings a little bit more contentment, a little bit more ease to ourselves and, what we desire. At our root is the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is prosperity through collaboration. Now, this can be collaboration with others, but this is also, because this is a spirit guide message, this is collaboration through spirit. And it's being able to take credit where credit is due. It's like, oh, okay, I have this talent. Oh, okay, I have this insight. And being able to manifest and work with it, being able to gain its insight and ideas and greater understandings, and really push ourselves forward that way. It's also at our root, instead of looking at the past achievements that we have and saying, oh, that's somebody else's. It's like, no, I take credit for this. I did this. I built this. I have this. And I'm able to celebrate it. And I'm able to move forward with it. And that becomes a very good thing, because we're going to have a tendency, and we have a tendency, Aquarius, to say, well, I didn't come up with everything, so therefore I negate my own, the way that I contributed to it. It's like, no, let that shine through. And also know, like, for those of us who might say, oh, well, I did it all, to say, oh, well, it was a collaboration. And that's where I'm really shining at this time, is being able to collaborate, being able to have ideas bounce off of one another, or even just ideas bounce off of myself, like write things down and then look at them later and then say, oh, well, tweak it like this and do it like this. And oh, that's exactly, what I wanted, what I needed, the way that I wanted to see it. And then it leads us to the Lovers. And the Lovers is the sense of duality being astoundingly important. There's not just one way of seeing everything. This is also the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine coming together within us, a blessing of spirit for those aspects of our personality, for what we desire and what we want and what we need, and where is it that we want to be and how is it that we want to move forward. There's a real sense of love here, falling in love with our lives again, and falling in love with the beauty of existence. But it can also be looking at the really hard times, if we're going through really hard times, and just taking those moments to remember what we love about life, what we love about ourselves, instead of getting so down and so angry and so frustrated that that's all we can see because it's easy. It's bringing the love back into the equation And it's knowing that there's different roads to walk than what we had originally imagined. And it leads us to the High Priestess. It leads us to turning inward. It leads us to a greater understanding of ourselves and our desires. The High Priestess has us looking beyond the veil, which is where Spirit lives. Spirit lives beyond the veil. So Spirit's almost letting us have a glimpse of their world. And it's overwhelming when that happens, but it's also beautiful. So here with the High Priestess is telling us, here are insights, here are ideas. This isn't what it seems. Everything isn't as black and white as we would like to think it is. Isn't a white page, black print. That's all of it. There's myriad and multitudes of shades of gray here. Look at them. What somebody posts, the way somebody wants you to perceive them, isn't the way that they actually are, isn't the way that they actually live. And so here we look at sacred knowledge, we look at sacred truth, we connect quite powerfully and personally with divinity, with Spirit at this time. And we can find ourselves being drawn to sacred ancient texts. We can find ourselves being drawn to a more kind of earthy way of being and living and connecting with divinity. And it really, it has here the horns and either the sun rising or the crescents of the moon and the full moon in between, the cross on her chest and the Torah on her lap with the pools of water. It has us here seeing the different realms of the connection with divinity and the different ways divinity has been brought into our lives and connecting with the healing waters of time and of emotion. And it brings us to being a student of our passion and of our desires and of where we want to be and of what we want to look for and what we're seeing right now and looking at different directions and different ways and, different people and different everythings. And it's like, oh, it's not just one direction. It's not just one way of being. It's a multitude. And it's being able to call our passion forward in a very real and honest way. It's being able to look at things with power and insight and, determination of self. And it brings us to this place where we have the prosperity coming forward. We have what we have spent so long building and needing to embrace that emotionally, needing to embrace just one thing that we can sit there and say, wow, I did this well. Even if it's just like, I tidied up and I tidied up really well and I got that done really nicely and I'm proud of me. It's starting to be able to be proud of ourselves and let that pride show, not being egotistical or a megalomaniac, but letting that pride within our individual achievements show and shine. It's not looking so far out into the future, which is what we're going to have a tendency to want to do, to say instead of taking this moment and embracing it, I'm, looking at everything and just being overwhelmed by everything that still has to be done and everything that is now and everything in between. It's like, no, here I embrace the prosperity and I know that yes, there's going to be hard work to come, but I can handle that. I can move forward with that. The Page of Swords is us being a student of our hearts, a student of our emotions, trusting and listening to the truth of what we're feeling, of what we've been telling ourselves and maybe what we've been ignoring for a very long time, to be able to have that passion, that understanding, that brilliance come forward and be able to look at different paths and different insights and different ideas and everything and being able to say, wow, there's more here than meets the eye. There's more to this than I had originally imagined or than I had ever imagined. And I get to open up the door. I get to be inspired. I get to, embrace my inner child and love who I once was and who I am today, because there's power and there's brilliance here. And it moves us then to the public arena where we're working so hard and we're kind of dissatisfied with where we are, or there's always a sense of, if I push just a little bit harder, if I work just a little bit more, I will be able to achieve way more than what I have right now. And this might be true. It might be true. If you work 10% more, you can make 40% more. And that's a fact. That's statistics. But what we're looking at here is not being satisfied with what we have developed, or always looking at things and kind of not giving ourselves the sense of pride and accomplishment that we should. It's not saying, wow, I did well. It's always saying, I could have done better. And that's not fair. The Eight of Pentacles is hard work and discipline and dedication, and people see this, and we need to start seeing this within ourselves. And then we need to stop seeing the cups as spilt over. We have to stop seeing everything as spilt and horrible and are upsetting and, distressing, what we need to do is turn around and see the Two of Cups, the healing, beautiful love that gets to move us forward, the power and the passion and the ideas and the brilliance that is there for us. And it's changing our minds and it's changing our whole entire lives. Because once we change the energy field that is around us, and it's true, once we address our hurts and our pains and our disappointments, once we look at, the darkness within us and we give it a name, we call it out, all of a sudden, our world around us, we see it so much more clearly. We see ourselves and our energy and our desires. We see when we start slipping into darker moods, when the storm clouds start coming around us, and there's this sense of I can't. We start to change it with, yes, I can. Yes, I can. And I have to celebrate where I am right now, and I have to be a student of the fight and of the passion and of the brilliance that is me, and move forward towards that goal. Move forward towards that desire. Our subconscious chakra message is the inner child, the heart chakra. It's connecting with our inner child. It's saying, this is my love, this is my heart, this is myself. It's even doing the exercise, which I love to do. We're just visualizing the child I once was. So visualize the child you were and hold your arms open to that child and let that child run to you and give you a hug like you're their parent or their guardian or their favorite aunt or uncle or whomever, their grandparent, and just they snuggle into you and you snuggle into them, and it's like, I love you. I'm here for you. I will always be here for you. I will always listen to you. And you always matter. That means so much to our inner child. That means so much to the adult we are today. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's the Princess of Wands. We're mindful of the Princess of Pentacles, and now the Princess of Wands, who is the Page of Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is a person who can be very much of a princess, just thinking they're right, and that passion and power and determination will conquer it all. It's also being very connected to the earthly plane and thinking only the earthly plane matters. Only what can be seen and counted has any quantitative power. And Spirit's saying here, no, that's not the case. Our subconscious tarot message is the Knight of Pentacles, slowly and steadily moving towards prosperity, success, bounty, and abundance. It's having an idea of what we want. It's looking at what we desire. And it's saying, I have a plan. It's not having it be such a strict plan that there's no wiggle room to it. There's no room for inspiration. But it's saying, I have a plan. And I can move forward in this plan, in this understanding, and in this passion. All right, Aquarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we embrace and strengthen our connection with Spirit. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aquarius.